Hello there. Today we're going to make a Inkscape ornament to be cut in solid wood with the laser cutter. Something like this with a shape and some text and an image on there and a spot to hang it from. So I'm going to make a new document. And the first thing I'm going to do is create my outline, my shape outline. I'm going to do this with a circle. And then once I go back to the select tool, I'll be able to pop up here, change this to inches. I'm going to make this a 3-inch circle because I think that'll be a nice size for an ornament and make a nice gift. Now I'm going to select this and open up the fill and stroke menu so that I can change a few things on here. It has no fill, which is great. I didn't want to fill on it, but what I'm going to do is change the stroke. The stroke is red, which is great, which will cut through. I'm going to change the stroke style to be 5 millimeters thick. This is 1/2 centimeter, and that makes a pretty nice thick line. But now when I go to make vectors out of this image, I'm going to go to the path menu. And instead of clicking on object to path, which will make a circle with the vector line in the middle of this thick stroke, it's going to actually make vectors around both edges of this. So this is a great way to make symmetrical, concentric shapes where one is perfectly inside of the other by using your shape tool to create a simple shape, giving it a very thick stroke, and then doing stroke to path. So notice when I go to the vector tabs, I've actually made 2 circles out of the one, 2 vector paths out of the one shape that I made. Now I'm going to go back and undo this, get rid of the fill that it produced and add in the stroke paint. And I want the strokes to be 0.2 millimeters, so I'll get a really good idea of what this is going to look like. The red lines will be cut through. I'm going to go ahead and make my hanger, which is going to be another tiny circle, and back to the selection tool so I can get to these easy dimensions. I'm going to make my circle about a little bit more than 1/4 inch, so 0.3 is what I'm doing, and on both dimensions, the width and the height, so that it's a perfect circle. I'm going to go to the stroke style and change it to, instead of 5, which would make it the same size, I'm going to make it 3. See what I like that, and go back to path and do the stroke to path on that guy as well. Delete the fill, give me a color so I can see those lines again. 0.2. So the tool that we will be using a lot for this design is the union tool. Before I unionize things and meld them together into a single shape, a single solid shape, I want to make sure they're in the correct positions. So I'm going to go to my object menu, align and distribute, and relative to the page, I'm going to center those. And then I'm just going to bring this little guy down until it looks good to me. Like I would want I think I'm going to do it like that. And so when I have both of these guys selected, I press the shift key to select both of those at the same time. While you're pressing the shift, you can just keep clicking on things and it'll keep adding them to what you have selected. Up in the path menu, I'll use union. The little picture here shows you what it's going to do, and voila, it sure did. Now I want to add some text in here. My text tool, I have a plan. I've already come up with a plan for this design. I am writing the word namaste, which means the light in me sees the light in you. I'm going to find a nice thick font that's going to have lots of contact points with my shape, but I also kind of want something that's got some style to it. So I'm going to take this text. Okay. All right, here I am, restarted, slightly different, but doing the same. So I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. And what I wanna do is put this on the circle. So I select the text and then I press the shift key and select the circle. And I'm going to go up here to where it says text and I'm gonna put on path. This always seems to put it up there in the corner and then I fiddle around with it a little bit to try to get it kind of where I want it. And then, oh, that N is looking kind of weird. But after this point, I move it and rotate it. So object menu, align, no, transform is where we get the option to rotate. I'm going to put in a 1 degree angle and I just keep applying it until it looks about right. And I'm going to have to do something with that N. Ah, that's pretty good right there. I'm getting contact with most of those letters on the edge so that they will stick together once I unionize them. So I think that's going to work for my curved path. I am going to now, we're going to vectorize it, object to path the text, which means now it's all vectory and I can't do text stuff anymore, but it is going to allow me to take this in and rotate it separately so that it doesn't look so weird. And bring that up. Oh, maybe I'll do, oh, it's in vector, so it's not paying attention. Up and over, and maybe rotate it a tiny bit more by applying that 1 degree turn. I just want the N. I gotta get in vector mode to be able to grab one at a time. A little more rotation. And there we go. Nice, me gusta. What happened here? There we go. And I'll just move this back. It was a perfect circle, so it should look good on this side as well. In theory. There, contacting. Okay, I think I'm gonna move this E a little bit, just so that I can, I want to get that little, the tail of the E to pop out, except I'm rotating in the wrong direction. So I put a negative here, negative, and it'll rotate in the other direction. Up 1, over 1. There we go. I just want to be able to make sure that those are resolved nicely. Okay, so now, often what you have to do here is select one at a time, but I'm going to try to do it all at once with path union. Nope, I didn't like that. Last time I did this, I had to do one at a time, but then after I did a couple, it was nicer and let me, you know, do more than one at a time. But path union. Try to do 3 at a time. Ah, it worked. Do 3 letters with the outer piece, so 4 objects at a time. Nice, there we are. Now all I have to do is put a nice little picture in there. And I restarted my computer, so I don't have my picture available anymore. Oh, there it is. Ha! It remembers me. This was the picture I wanted. I have no idea why my view is skewed, like my page has been rotated somehow. I don't know what's going on there. I just downloaded the new Inkscape so I can learn it along with you guys where everything is located. All right, for this guy, I'm going to trace bitmap, update, apply, and get me into the business here. All right, let me delete this ghost image. It's just going to get in my way. And so here's my nice vector path. I'm going to go to the path menu and I'm going to break apart. So again, that was the path menu, break apart. What it does is it takes all the individual shapes, and instead of having them be one object, they're all separate now. They're all black shapes. That's why it turned into a big black blob. When I go to, I'm just going to change the colors on it so I can see what's happening here. Fill, I exit out. Stroke paint, I'm going to just leave as black for now. 0.2 so we can see it doesn't get too busy. All right, so this is what I have right here. And now that I've broken it apart, I can remove that watermark and I can remove these things that I don't want. Awesome, because I wanted that last lotus flower. All right, now the last thing I'm going to do here, actually I'm going to take all of this and I'm going to change the stroke color to blue because I want to etch this in there. And then I'm going to take the outside one, just the very outside, and change that to red so it'll cut through. Now we're not doing any engraving on this project because it takes too long to engrave and it'll take too much time. All right, so this is my lotus flower. The red will get cut out, the blue will get etched on it. And then I'm going to group this so that I'll be able to move it without all those separate parts coming together, but I can't recombine it. Up here in the path menu, we have combine, which is the opposite of break apart. But if I combine it, it'll change those colors and I won't be able to distinguish between cutting the outside and engraving the inside. So now I'm just going to try to make this look good on my ornament. And oh my gosh, it's like the perfect size, I think. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Well, I did not mean to do that. Press the control key. And it's probably just a good idea for me to do my align and distribute here and see. I don't have that menu open anymore. See what it looks like if everything's just centered on the page. I think this is my design right here. So I'm going to grab that outside and the namaste and unionize them. And it's going to work. Yeah, see if I can just get the. There we go. I have no idea why that worked and it didn't work before. Now I'm going to change the stroke color on that back so I can just grab the inside of the lotus. Make that blue. Ha! Oh, this top part right here needs to be red. Finito. File, save as. I already named it. You would put your name in there and then post it to the Google Classroom as an SVG document and email it to the laser cutter. Thank you kindly.